Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good
Everybody,
morning to you.
I usually start with Price is Right or either Wayne Brady on, and I quilt and we talk and visit.
Mhm.
Today, wait a minute, something always happens, and my telephone is telling me my battery is low. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, let me plug up my phone. Today, I have a super special surprise for everybody. Rosie the Quilter is joining me. And I thought you would like to meet the lady that I mention so frequently that is in Maryland, that is going to teach me when I have some time to go and just visit with her. Her
Yes.
name is Rosemary, and she's with us today. Hi, Rosie.
Hi there. Hi, Linda.
Now, everybody, Rosie is a professional quilter. The name of her company is Prayer Quilts by Rosie, and they are exquisite. She has a Facebook page. She also has an Etsy shop, or maybe two. We'll find out. Rosie, do you have two Etsy shops?
Yes, I do. The
What's the
second
name of
the
your
second
Etsy shop?
shop the second shop is called Wakanda Quilts by Rosie, and so I have a so those feature my African themed quilts.
Wonderful. Oh, that's wonderful. Now, Rosie, you've been quilting for quite a while. You're a professional, you teach quilting. And I
Mhm.
thought it would be great if you just tell us how in the world did you get started into quilting?
Well, it's I'm sure it's a story that a lot of people can uh, feel acquainted with the story. When I bought my home, my first my first home here in Maryland, I had all these empty windows, and so I had to teach myself how to sew so I could put some curtains up because I didn't have enough money to buy curtains because I had these long 9 foot windows, and it's like it looked good at the time until I had to think about covering them. So after
Okay.
learning how to sew, to do that, I went to one of these conventions that they have all over the country. And I figured I'll learn some new tricks and take some classes in sewing home deck. I went to this one in Virginia. Everything was about quilting and embroidery. They had a little section there for the home deck people, but it was like the world of quilting. And I was hooked. I couldn't I couldn't take enough of it. I just kept walking around. I mean, it was 2 football fields. This is back in the day. This is almost 20 years ago. And
Yeah.
I was stunned. I bought videos. Back then they had videos.
Yes.
Not even DVDs, videos.
Yes.
And I would pop in those videos and watch them and watch them and watch them and bought books, magazines, and I started quilting. Of course, first for my family, my aunties, my cousins, my siblings, and then, after they were like even my nephew said, "No more quilts, Aunt Rosie. Can I get a Game Boy?" That's what I said. I have to do something else to feed my
Yeah.
habit. And
Yeah.
you know, I I went into doing little shows in our area, and local church bazaars and whatnot. But I it took me it took me more than 10 years to figure that maybe I could do something else. But like me, I will keep talking and talking and talking. So I'll let you ask the questions. You want to know how I got started quilting?
Rosie,
That's how I got started
yeah,
quilting.
you
It was
couldn't sew?
no, I you know I d- back in high school we had a a home, what, some kind of, what did they call it? I forget what they called it. But
Home
yeah, we had a
economics.
home economics,
Yeah.
and I was supposed to finish a jumper. I never finished a jumper. I never finished a jumper. I never finished a skirt. And eventually, the sewing machine, which was the one my mother brought from England when she emigrated to this country, went the way of all all things. Daddy got rid of it. No, it
Oh,
wasn't until I needed to do something for myself that I taught myself how to sew. I bought one of those little
my,
baby Kenmore sewing
yeah,
machines from Sears,
yeah.
and that's the one I learned to sew and make my first curtains on. And then I bought a heavier machine to do the drapes, because you need power to
Yeah.
do um, the because of the thickness. And I went from there, man. Well, I think I'm on my fourth sewing machine now. No, fourth sewing machine. So after that,
Mhm.
I got this a little one here. Where is it? There it is. To do
Yeah.
my just to do my binding. uh,
My goodness. My,
when
how
I
in the world I want to know, how did you teach yourself to sew? From books?
videos, you know,
Yeah.
um, back like in the early years before Obama, right?
Yeah.
HGTV had this great show on how to how to fix up your house,
Yeah.
on like
Yeah.
$250, redo
Yeah.
your room or
Yeah.
get your room ready. They had these three women, no, two women and a guy. The guy would do the carpentry stuff, and one woman would do all the sewing stuff, and
Yeah.
she would come in and she would make placemats, make slip covers, make drapes, make curtains, all this stuff. Just her and her sewing machine and the little pins and needles. I mean, I would watch these shows. I'd watch them. I'd tape them. I'd watch them again. I, like I said, books, videos, and eventually that's how I taught myself to sew.
Oh,
Quilting, there was a show still on called Love of Quilting. In my
yeah.
area, it comes on, it's by this duo called Fonz and Porter.
Yes.
My area comes on 6 a.m. on Saturdays. I am up and I watched that show. I bought like 6 DVDs so that I could watch all the programs, and I'd watch them again and again and again. And
Yeah.
that's how I learned their techniques and their,
Okay.
getting their magazines.
Yeah.
I just would
And
not
that's
do.
how you got your tools.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's how I got my tools, because everybody is different as to
Yeah.
what tool works best for them. So I
Yeah.
figured I just get more.
Yeah.
I I
Yeah.
so I have the 6 by 12 ruler. I have the 6.5 by 10.5 ruler. I
Yeah. Yeah.
I have you know every ruler you could imagine. 8.5
Yeah.
by 24, 9.5 by 24.
I'm glad you shared that, because I have called uh quilting shops. We have nothing in this area. None. No
Mhm.
quilting shops, no anything. But I've called some and have asked them, how can I know tools, what I need, what I don't need, what I would use, what I won't use, where to
Mhm.
go to get them? Um, Amazon, you can order anything, but
Right.
you've got to know
What to
what you
ask
need.
for. Right.
Yes. Okay.
I
Thank
can give
you.
you I can
Because
give you a rundown.
okay.
All right. So if you want to stock your toolkit, right? And of course, I'm going to
Okay.
speak slowly so that you can replay this
Write it
part.
down.
Okay.
I'm going to write it down.
Have
Okay, I'm ready.
First thing is you want to have a good sewing machine, right?
Okay.
I'm not talking about $2,000 sewing machine. I'm talking about a little brother sewing machine that you can get at a Walmart or a
Okay.
Target.
Okay.
The kind of sewing machine that if you go to like a quilting store, you know, it's going to
Okay.
be a higher end. It's going to be a step
Okay.
up from what a beginner would need, you know?
Okay.
Um, and that'll, and if you don't know that you're going to be like really into this, wait on making that kind of investment. Start with
Okay.
something small, in the maybe $300 to $500 range.
Okay.
Though, if it's less, if it could sew a straight line, you're good. Because guess
Okay.
what? With quilting, you don't have to do zigzag. You don't have
Okay.
to. All you need is be able to sew a straight stitch.
Okay.
Okay, so you have your sewing machine.
Okay.
You have to have good thread. I like to
Good
use
thread.
Coats and Clark. It's a good thread
Okay.
you could find anywhere. Walmart, Target, Joanne. You don't have to go to the fancy place because they will have more specialty threads. Coats and Clark is great.
Okay.
Um, I sew with just a black or I don't have right now uh, a off white thread.
Okay.
Um, I know when you first start, you want to say, "Oh, well, I'm sewing something that's blue or that's pink. Let me get a thread to match it." No, you don't need to. I have all these
Oh,
threads, color threads, and you know what? If I just use a off white, I think Coates and Clark, the number is either 80-10 or 80-20.
now,
That this
now
is the
is it a quilting thread?
no, just regular. It's regular thread. The
Okay.
When Coates and Clark says quilting thread, they're talking about when you want to stitch the layers together, and that thread is going to be
All
a different type. You want the all-purpose thread to do your piecing.
all purpose. Okay.
So you go with that thread and just use, like I say, off color cream or um, I go with 80-10. That's the number. When you go in, you
80.
see they're all arranged by number: 80-10, 80-20, 80-30. And you know what? It doesn't matter. I have done literally hundreds of quilts using 80, using that off color, and it doesn't show. Why give yourself all that agita with getting different colors? So you have your thread, needles.
Okay.
needle for quilting. That's another one where people get, should I get this kind? Should I get that kind? For the piecing, right? Use a 90
Now,
14.
Rosie, you're breaking up. I
Oh,
didn't get
okay. Um, okay, we're back good now. Are we back good now?
Wait a minute. I didn't get number 3.
All right. Did you get needles?
There you go.
All
I
right. So
got you. You're
so
back.
for needles, you use a 90-14 needle or 80-12.
Wait a
90-14
minute. Let
or
me see.
80-12.
I'm losing Rosie.
Oh, bah humbug. Oh, bah humbug. Why did I do that? That's okay. She'll be back. Well, anyway, so while this is still going live, uh, I I said that we would do.
I
Um,
lost Rosie. Rosie,
Now we're back.
are you there?
Yes, I am.
There you go.
Okay. So, as we were saying,
Number 3.
number 3 is needles. You need either a 90-14 or a 80-12. 90-14 or 80-12. Those two needles sizes are generic. You can get them anywhere, and they're strong. And the eye of the needle is not so small that you're like trying to get your thread through. Um, it
Get your
it
thread
works.
first.
Hmm?
And then she's saying needles.
Needles, right? So 80-12 or
Mhm.
90-14. Those are your needles.
Okay.
I started with the thread, the machine, and the needles because you got to be able to sew and how first before you get your other tools to help you make with your quilting, right? Those are your basic
Now,
tools.
Rosie,
Hmm.
Rosie, I
Yes.
missed some things. So, with your needles, about how many do you need, or how long do you use a needle before you change it?
Uh, you know something? I'll be very honest with you. I change a needle when I remember to change it. So sometimes I will use it for 3 months before I say, I should change that needle out. Um, if you're better than I am and you can um, keep a schedule, if let me say this, if you're doing daily sewing, if you're doing daily sewing, what you should do is change your needles once a month. If you're okay,
Okay,
so
I'm
the
back.
question was,
Rosie,
mhm, how often should you change your
let
needle?
me end this.
Okay,
Let me end this, and you call me on my cell.
all righty.
Okay, guys, I'm taking notes, and I'll put the notes in the group. I'm losing internet. You know how it is. It's always this way every morning. So let me get back with you with the notes that Rosie is giving to us. And I promise
Okay,
I'll have my joke at the end. Okay,
okay.
Okay.